Hello, everyone. Welcome along to Drafts and Crafts as part of the FM playoffs. Our light-hearted look at some of what got drafted yesterday. We've, of course, got a major tournament coming up on Sunday. We've got a bit of a heat wave. We've got a fantastic panel. So let's introduce ourselves to our wonderful panel, and then you can all have a little look at some of what happened last night, and we've got some massive talking points already. So, as you can see on this box here, my name's Tony. Hope you're all very well. I'll be the host of the show tonight. As I say, it's quite light-hearted. We will go back and go through the drafting, and we'll do it with a couple of ales as well, because it's Friday night, and that's what we want to do. So, let's say hello to people. To that side is the wonderful second yellow card. Matt, how are you, buddy? Welcome. I'm not taking any chances as to which side I am. That is where we are, right? So, Matt, how are you?
Damn it, I did it wrong. I'm great. How are you? I had 1 and 2 shots and I screwed it.
Very well indeed, man. You know what? 1 in 2, I will take those odds. Thank you very much. Pleasure to have you in. You obviously did the draft last night. How did you find it?
Oh, yeah, no, it was great. It was just, there was a lot of picks and a lot of players, but they've all ended up with squads.
Good. That's the least we could have. In fact, no, that's the most we could have expected from last night, to be honest. At the end of the draft, they will all have the right amount of players. So we've managed to do that. We'll go back and we'll mention what the squad pool was a little bit later on. To my down there is FM Llama. Who looks like he's in a pub right now. Llama, welcome, buddy. How are you?
I am living the dream, quite literally. How are you, good sir?
Mate, I am surviving the dream. This is brilliant. We're in the same dream. How cool's that?
Yeah, I'm living the dream. It's not my dream. I'm living somebody else's. For me, this is a nightmare, but...
It's a pleasure to have you back, as always. Obviously, you weren't here yesterday, but you have, of course, caught up on what's going on. So we're looking forward to... Well, you know what? So was I, mate, to be honest. I had a poorly child, so we had the wonderful Jebaru. He was all ready to go. He's like, sub me in, coach, sub me in. We subbed him in. He was brilliant. Here I am tonight, though, and the little one's out there. But you know what? Sometimes the substitutes are the impact players, Llama, and I'm expecting a lot from you tonight, so it's good to have you back. People I'm not expecting a lot from, the man directly below me there, is my podcast co-host, Mr. Rich Owens. Rich, how the devil are you, buddy?
I'm well, thank you, mate. I'm very well, very, very well. I'm really, really warm, but really, really happy to be here. Looking forward to dissecting some squads and, more importantly, having some beers.
That's the best way of answering that question. We will, of course, address the beer situation now. Hopefully, of course, you guys have all joined in with some ales. We'll go back around. Matt, what have you got there? Let's have a little introduction to your tipple for this evening, shall we?
Well, I'm rocking a nice little can of Goose Island IPA.
Goose Island IPA, nice. I'm a big fan of that. Llama, anything on your top shelf, or are you just on the shots tonight?
So I feel like the kid who's on his first day at a new school and has walked into a lesson that's not on his timetable, because I don't actually drink. I'm a bit of an imposter on this show, but I have treated myself in the spirit of Drafts and Crafts to a caffeine-free Pepsi Max, which really is like licking the tears from God's face. It's a taste sensation.
I mean, it's as hipster soft drink as you can get, isn't it?
Thank you very much.
I've gone for a Fentimans. Would have been got some elderflower cordial, just chilling. Rich, what about you, man? What's your beverage of this evening?
Well, if Llama's licking the tears from God's face, I'm licking the tears from a lilt lady's face, because I'm drinking Shea Guava Radical Lager.
You did it.
Ronaldo fingers, boys. Ronaldo fingers. No, it's Ronaldinho fingers. There you go.
Do not do Ronaldo fingers. It's definitely not a thing. Yeah, well, some people say he was in trouble, and some people still cheer him, on their conscience, be it. So I'm not going to agree to that. I am on the Aldi cost of living crisis lager. So it's I figured we'd get some 1079, which I think is my is potentially my FM draft ranking score at the minute. So hopefully looking to improve upon that. It is a lovely pilsner though, because it's a bit warm. So I think I have something a little bit more refreshing than an ale. But there you go. Let us know in the chat what beverages you're enjoying. And again, remember, stay away from Ronaldo fingers. So we will move back to our participants. And some of you, of course, maybe might want to have a little bit of a reminder who is in the tournament. So should we take a little look, shall we?
Let's do it.
With this wonderful graphic, of course, we go with the stickers around here. So we have M Breezy won Path to the Playoffs Tournament 1. Holly Plays is in, the former FM Streamer Showdown champion. 2-time champ Limo, can he make it 3 more? Steve Hood Gaming, a man who knows his way around a draft. Speaking of someone who knows their way around a draft, FM girl Alice, can she make amends this year? Tim Lewis comes again, double Wales. Murph FM, he knows a little bit as well, doesn't he, when he's not baking bread? He comes. Stinger, the eternal bridesmaid. Can tonight be the night? Speaking of bridesmaids, here's Mozza. He got to the final last time. JDFM, look at him. Massive arms. Is that to lift a trophy? Not if Fox in the Box has got anything to say about it. It's a pleasure seeing him back in the FM space. And again, a former FM Showdown champion, McKins. That is not a bad lineup, is it really, to be honest? Matt, we'll come straight to you first of all. From there, I mean, what are you thinking? Is there anyone who was, before the draft began, anyone with a bit of pedigree, would you be going, right, we need to look out for them?
I think I liked McKins when, and not just because I'm biased, because I saw his draft strategy and went, yes, that's what I would have done. And that might have been a bad thing, but I don't know. He got his picks, and coming into it, he's got pedigree. He's won a showdown. He's been to he's done well in draft competitions, and I know people talk about all the tactical side of things, but he has won before, and if he can do it once, you can do it twice. That's how it works. Yeah,
got to agree with that. To be honest, it's sound logic in there. Speaking of logic, Llama, you strike me as a man who knows his way around a bit of logic. Anything jumping out for you? Who's your initial eyes drawn towards in that pool?
Well, do you know what? So I was on the panel for the second qualifiers, and after Limo drafted, I thought, goodness me, he's going to struggle to get through to the finals. Didn't think his draft was strong at all, and he stormed it. And I honestly don't think you can look too far beyond him again, because the man just knows drafting. He's doing it on a weekly basis. He sees players and what he's going to get out of them way better than I do. He has like a sixth sense for these things. I think he could well go far in this tournament again.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Yeah, he took playoffs tournament 2 to just basically surprise everyone, because everyone was, as you say, it wasn't a Limo draft. There was a few sort of new faces in there, and you sort of tend to know what you get with a Limo. He brought in a few new faces, and my word, he ran the show, didn't he? It was fantastic to see. Rich, we'll come down to yourself. Anyone that's jumping out? Anyone you think can maybe spring a surprise, or maybe some new faces we haven't seen for a little while?
Hey, if we're talking surprises, if we're talking, an underdog story almost, I was on the path to the playoffs for the first draft. Both Breezy and Murph dominated that first draft. They were both absolutely incredible, tactically astute, knew what they were doing, had a system in place. I think either of them have got a very, very good shout of progressing and potentially causing a bit of an upset this time around.
Okay, excellent. I think it's there's definitely. I think it's going to be tight. We say this every single time that the standard of drafting just keeps improving. The standard of players just keeps improving. And then, of course, we've got some returning people as well. Let's say Fox in the Box returning back to the community, coming back in is really exciting. Tim Lewis is a man who's on form. creating a lot of drama, and is already in the chat saying that this draft has turned him to the drink already. He's 12 years of not drinking, and he cracked open a couple of little baby shams at the end of the last tournament. So tonight we think he's on his 4th bottle of whiskey already. So Tim, it's a pleasure having you in. He's now FM Stone Cold. He's just smashing them together and drowning in it. So yeah, hope you're having a great evening, Tim. Tomorrow, watch it back to see what you said in the chat. So we will tell you what we are going to do. We are going to unveil some groups, because it's always nice to know that we're going to have some people to look at teams, but I think ultimately we need to see who is playing who. So we will go through Group A. Let's have a little look here. And it's a big one. Breezy, Stinger, Steve Hood, Mozza, Tim Lewis, Tim, make a note of this, Tim Lewis, and Fox in the Box. Matt, initial thoughts?
It's a strong group. It really, really is, particularly with the way that Breezy's tactics, Breezy smashed it to get here, had a relatively solid draft, even though, like we talked about yesterday, maybe got a bit muddied at the start, but then pulled it out of the bag. Steve, it's just an insanely strong group. And Foxy seemed pretty confident when we spoke to him last night that he had picked. I imagine everyone thinks they've picked the right players when you get to the end of it, but boy, there was a lot of confidence coming through. So it's going to be a battle of bravado.
Absolutely, I think you're right. Lama Mozza, the last season's finalist, is in there. He's in Group A this time. Stinger, again, we joke all the time. Stinger always gets to the wedding, but never quite manages to get hitched. Is this his time, or is Tim Lewis the man? Because I think he's the outlier here. I think he's the one to watch.
Well, the first thing I would say is that Mozza has engineered so much of this tournament to his advantage. Did he take a night off when the groups were drawn? Because I think he's going to find this a pretty difficult proposition. And the other thing I'd say is you mentioned both Mozza and Stinger as bridesmaids in your intro. If I'd have turned up at the altar at my wedding and those two were stood next to Mrs. Lama, I don't think I would have gone through with it. Those are not attractive bridesmaids. Come on.
Hey, you can't shame them like that straight away. I mean, Rich, you'd be looking to pull those two bridesmaids, right?
100%. I'm still up for it now. If they're keen, hit me up, boys. That's a phone. That's not Ronaldinho fingers. Maybe both. Yeah,
a couple more guava ales than anybody's.
Oh, a couple more guavas, and this top's coming off, and nobody needs to see that tonight. Horrible mess underneath there. No, hell of a group though, isn't it? Hell of a group. I mean, I'm looking at it. I can't look past people like your Breezes stormed the path to the playoffs, and I think he'll fancy his chances in a group like this. Tim, as you say, the underdog, he's making a bit of a name, getting a bit of a reputation. Tim, put the drink down. Everything's okay, man. Just slow down. One water for every drink and you'll be golden, mate. I think either of them. I think either of those boys are going to be there or thereabouts come the end of that group.
Fantastic. Well, it's definitely going to be tight to us. And that, for Group A, is pretty impressive, to be honest. Just for confirmation, let's show you what Group B looks like then, shall we? As the graphic just makes its way through here. So, Limo, Murph FM, Ollie Plays, JD FM, FM Girl Alice, and McKinn's. Now, Rich, we'll go with you first of all. We'll do the reverse order round now. It's not an easy group again. Where's your eyes drawn to? Where's the interesting matchups? Who are you wanting to do something from?
I am really, really excited because as with this draw, it means we're going to get Alice playing Holly, which I think is exceptional because Holly said in a kind of post-draft interview the other night she's excited to be drafting and playing against Alice. We had a conversation with Holly recently and also with Alice about kind of things like representation and diversity within the community. Seeing two female draft participants playing each other in a tournament of this size is exciting for me. So that is one matchup that I'm particularly excited to see. And don't ask me who I want to win it, but I'm just excited to see it because I can't pick. I like them both.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think it's great. I think it's the final that people would have wanted, to be honest, but we're getting it in the group stages and it's going to be absolutely fantastic. As you say, great to see two wonderful female competitors going head to head. Llama compared to two just bearded fellas with glasses. Again, Limo and Murph. I mean, I don't know if you've got anything you can talk to people about that, just anything that's...
Talking of representation, sometimes I feel like I'm the only FM content creator without a beard. I'm just rocking it for the clean-shaven gentleman here. The thing I'm most looking forward to in this group is Holly and McKinns, but for a slightly different reason. I'm really keen to see how two former Showdown winners get on in the playoffs, because they're two very different tournaments. In the Showdown, it's an invitational competition. People haven't qualified for it, so you could be up against people who are very experienced drafters, but sometimes in the Showdown, maybe you're up against people who are big streamers, but maybe don't have the drafting experience. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how McKinns and Holly, who's won it the most recently, I think, gets on about those really experienced drafters like Limo.
Yeah, again, it's a really, really good point, to be honest. We're talking about people coming in with a bit of experience. Matt, we do have a poll in the chat at the minute. We'll go to that in a second because we're just trying to work out. There's the first derby of the group is the Daroon derby. Who's going to win, Breezy or Fox in the Box? It appears as though the voting is going to swing 50-50, just as I mentioned that. It was looking very much like Fox in the Box was going to win there, but then someone decided, you know what? No, Breezy's won. Oh, it's like a horse race, isn't it? I was going to say, talking about experience in drafting, JDFM, Matt, a man who has all the potential in the world, and when he drafts well, he drafts really well, and when he drafts badly, he drafts really badly. But in the path to the playoffs, he looked very strong. Is there a chance that he's coming back now and giving it what we all know he can do?
I see no reason why not. I mean, honestly, anyone's got a chance, but if you get the draft right, it does half the work for you, because anyone can have tactics and tactics can do some of the work. But if you don't have the players to suit those tactics, it's only going to get you so far. If you've got a good draft, for me, that's like 70% of the battle at least. It's just having a good draft, and it's just about marginal gains. If you get that as close to perfect as you can, that's going to make a hell of a difference. At the very least, if you get your draft right, even if you screw your tactics up monumentally, you're probably not going to come last just because of the strength of the players, particularly in a pool with such a small budget, comparatively speaking, because there is such fine margins between each team. You only need a couple of players that can send you... One player could be the difference between bottom of your group and qualification. It really can. And if he's got the right squad, he can go all the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is all about drafting, as we say. And of course, that was last night. The pool was, how do we describe the pool? It took me a little bit of time to get my head around, to be honest. So let me try and explain it for everyone right now. So it was £400 million. It was £400 million. It was 20. Look at that. You know what? I don't even need to try and remember it. The behind the scenes trucker going, you're going to need help here, Tony. Let's just put up on the screen there. So £400 million budget, 20 picks, 2 pools of players, no limit on picks per country, 5 picks from each pool, and of course, the trusty snake draft. The pool itself was all the winners from the Euros, bar Russia. So Italy, Germany, Netherlands, Belgium, Romania, Spain, England, Portugal, Scotland, because of course they've won loads of stuff, and Turkey. We went for moral victories, but no, it's everyone who's won the Champions League. So of course the Lisbon Lions won it, so that's where it is. And to be fair, I looked at that and thought that's a pretty decent pool, to be honest. Pretty decent. It automatically takes out your Haaland, so the game is level straight away. You've got no exceptional strikers straight away. You're then going to start thinking differently. So let's start and have a little look at some of those squads, because we're saying that squads are what we're here for. We're going to start, first of all, with Holly Plays. Now, Holly's squad is going to pop up here, and we're going to have a little bit of a chat with Rich. Talk to us. What do we like? What do we maybe not like? And what do you think we might see coming forward?
I think the thing that I like the most about this squad is the level of kind of sass that went along with picking it from Holly, especially when she noticed that some of her favoured players have been snaffled up by other people in the draft. Rated that very, very highly. I think call out more competitors in the Discord during the draft. It's the way to do it. I like this. I like this team. I think it's really well balanced, which can sometimes be a harder thing to do, especially with a slightly smaller draft pool. I think defensively, I think it's pretty solid. I like the options that she's got out wide. I think she's got a lot of good fullbacks in that team. I rate Dumfries very highly. I like Reguilon. I think James Justin is a great shout at left back as well. In the middle, you can see she's got the more defensive options, generally speaking, are solid. Although she has picked Weigl, who I gave Credo some pelters for during Path to the Playoffs #1. He's not necessarily, for my money, the strongest kind of defensive midfielder in the pool. But again, moving forwards, like Sterling, Hadji, like Mertens, Calvert-Lewin, there's goals in that team. And the thing you have to remember about Holly as well, as we've said, she's a former Showdown winner. So in terms of her, drafting tactics, her drafting knowledge, I mean, she knows what she's doing. So for me, I think it's a decent draft, and I think she's going to do a lot with it. I think Holly's definitely going to be one to watch, in my opinion, as the tournament progresses.
Yeah, no, fair comments. I think there's definitely some players in there that stand out. I mean, Dominic Calvert-Lewin is a wonderful player. To be honest, I think Asensio is a cracking player. I like Sterling as well. I quite like him drafting Vitinha. Again, we like, I think the Ake and Boateng, she spoke about that in the interviews last night. Boateng may be someone you wouldn't go for as early as she did, but I think she managed to say, look, he's big. He's a big, strong centre-half. If you've got him and Nathan Ake, then that's what you're up against. If the meta is big, meaty men up front, get big, meaty men at the back. And of course, she's obviously a fan of De Gea as well. And Dumfries, again, is another interesting shout as well. So I think that's a pretty decent setup there, to be honest. So looking forward to seeing how it works. There was also as well a little bit of a panic on Lavia. I think the timing ran out and Lavia was picked, but from what we understand, that was actually meant to happen as well. Lavia was on the shortlist, and it wasn't just oh God, who's that? So that was a little bit of drama. So much so that a high vis Tabard came off at that point. So, but yeah, very very excited to see what happens. I will make an apology in the chat where we're looking at. So Dreco has called me out there, said that Celtic won the European Cup and not the Champions League. That's correct. The European Cup, as we know, is obviously better than the Champions League. It's much more difficult to win. Not like stupid little pretending league tournament that everyone wins. The European Cup is the proper one, the knockout tournament where you're playing the actual champions, not a team who finishes 9th in Romania. So appreciate that, Dreco. I'm on your side there, buddy. Right.
Put some respect on Farrell Costanza.
Exactly. As a former Aston Villa fan, the European Cup is the best tournament ever. I mean, it's not the Cup Winners' Cup, but I'm getting sidetracked, right? Let's have a look at Steve Hood. Okay, Steve Hood is our next competitor. He's a man who knows his way around a draft or two, doesn't he, Matt? Talk to us what we've got here about Steve Hood, and is this a Steve Hood team?
Oh, I don't know if I can tell you that, but what I can tell you is I really like some of the picks in here. It's one of those teams where maybe when you first look at it, you'd be sort of trying to zero in on some big names, and there are some big names in there, but they're sort of the slightly more abstract big names. If this team was a car, it's not a Ferrari, but it's like a really high-end Toyota Corolla in that it's faster than you think, and it's going to last you bloody years. It's not going to break down either.
Such a top gear thing. If this was a car,
years. But like Reece James, love that pick. Love Reece James. Excellent pick in there too. Two goalkeepers, Craig Gordon's a good backup, Patricio's solid, but I just like Ciro Immobile as well. Like everyone's tried to go for that same mold of striker, and I feel like Immobile is one of the strikers that, as always with these things, if you get them to play well, they do a good job. And I've used Immobile before, and he's been super duper excellent. So if Steve can get him to play as well as I have one time, I think, then there's definitely something there. It's maybe just because people might look at this and be overlooking certain players in there because maybe they're not completely household names, but I think if they underestimate it, they'll be massively wrong on that team.
Yeah, I can't disagree, to be honest. We do have a couple of players that we draft, Hood and I, and it's straight for Reece James straight away. He mentioned he sent a message over on the Discord saying that he would pick Reece James over his own mother. So that's how much Steve Hood.
And Steve Hood's mom is one heck of a right back, by the way.
Steve's mum can't cross a ball though. That's what lets her down. It's just that end product. Defensively, she's so solid, but just her delivery in the final third lets her down.
It's Norwegian as well. She wasn't even in the pool. That's why. But yeah, there's a lot to like about Hood. He knows his tactics inside out. He's always going to be up there or thereabouts. And yeah, I'm very, very much looking forward to seeing this. And of course, he's picked Craig Gordon. How can I not be happy about that? That's a wonderful pick. He could be the difference maker, maybe, as we do that. Next up, it's FM Girl and Llama. It's your time to shine, mate, because I think this could be Alice's time to shine.
I think there's some really interesting picks in there. I'm pretty sure for the qualifiers, Alice drafted Romelu Lukaku very early as her main centre forward. I think I'm right in that. Obviously, she's not got Lukaku this time, so she's got Tammy Abraham, who I think is a fairly good alternative. And I love what she's got going forward. You've Makuku, you've got Depay, so you've got some real pace and delivery for Abraham. You've got Havertz potentially playing in behind, Mount scheming as well. So I think she's got really good team going forward. I like some of her picks, which might surprise a few people at the back as well. I know eyebrows were raised at Smalling, but Mings will definitely cope with some of those other big, powerful strikers. De Vrij, fullbacks are good, like St Just and Tierney. For me, I might be wrong in this. Maybe it's the central midfield that's perhaps not quite as strong as some of the other areas of the pitch.
Yeah, I think that's a fair comment, to be honest. Shout out, by the way, to Buster Net, who's just raided in. Appreciate that, Dalja. Always lovely to see you. Welcome in, Raiders, of course. We are just doing a little bit of a breakdown of the draft pool that we did on yesterday for the FM playoffs on Sunday. I think you're right. I think I'd take that as a fair comment that maybe the central midfield might be the area that, if there is a flaw, if there is potentially a weaker link, it could be there. But I think Mason Mount's a good pick. I think Depay's a good shout. I love Kieran Tierney. He's so good. He's absolutely a me player. And I love Pickford. Like, I know that some people, maybe there was some eyebrows raised with Pickford when he was drafted, but he's got great distribution. And if you're looking to play out quickly, Pickford's a good shout. I think Pickford and Ramsdale are very, very good shouts. So, I think this is the time. I think FM Girl did really well last year. She got to the semi-finals, lost to Moza on penalties, and I know she wants it badly. She wants it badly, and she's got Tammy Abraham. So, yeah, come on, Alice, this is your time to shine. And speaking of people who are going to be timing to shine, it's Tim. Bring Tim in. Tim has been absolutely crushing it recently. He is on fire. Might support Wrexham. He hasn't mentioned it. Might be a Wrexham fan. Rich, this squad, tell me things about it and tell me where your eyes are initially drawn to. Why is it Myron Fellaini?
I was just about to say, the first thing when I look at this squad is just the beautiful, beautiful Belgian central midfield pairing, or potential central midfield pairing, in Rajan Angolan and Marouane Fellaini. I love that so much, especially in 2014. I think it's like incredible, absolutely incredible. I absolutely adore it. I don't think. Looking at that squad, I don't think there's a weak link anywhere across the board. I think he's got depth. I think the starting 11 kind of picks itself. You can see, you can't imagine players like Dion getting minutes over, the best striker in the pool there, which is obviously Divock Origi. And he's got some Portuguese lad probably to come off the bench in the last 5 minutes if he's traded. He just needs to shore the game up a little bit. I think defensively it's strong. I think he's got some big, powerful players in there. I think James Tavernier is a great pick at right back. Yeah. Massively rate Tavernier. Tanganga gives you versatility and a bit of size and a bit of strength across the back line as well. Shout out Ben Foster, the cycling goalkeeper. Rate that very, very highly. Start him over Castiles, please do. Emre Can as well, the ultimate utility midfielder. I always go on about him. I talked about him a lot in Path to the Playoffs 1. I rate Emre Can very, very highly. I think it's a very, very good squad, and given Tim's recent performances in PvP, again, he's going to be a threat with it. He's definitely going to be a threat.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you started off on the fence. Well, not on the fence. Well, you started off rinsing it, and then you decided to go, you know what? Let's actually be quite nice about it. Well, right. I'll tell you what. Think about when you first started talking, Rich, because we're gonna actually bring a guest in to defend their squads right now. Good evening, Tim Lewis. How are you, buddy? Oh, I think we've got a little bit of audio issue at the minute. Can we hear you, Tim? Right. Well, he is there. He's we're just going to get his audio linking through right now. But yeah, we are doing a little bit of surprises. So there will be a couple of guests just popping up. So just remember that when you're busy rinsing people's teams, that they might well be in a call very, very quickly afterwards. Tim's actually behind you, Rich. So if you can just open up that door and try now, Tim, see if you... No, still nothing yet.
No, I can lip read, and he's saying Richie made some very valid points about Nangolan and Fellaini.
Tim, if you can just refresh your stream, that might help there. Or refresh your camera, Tim, and then we can maybe get you back in. But yeah, like I say, so do remember that. Do remember that when you're doing. Tim, can we hear you? No, still nothing yet. Okay, right, we're gonna fill for a second. We're gonna fill for a second.
Is the surprise that Tim's coming on, or is the surprise that we've got lip read?
No, the surprise is that Tim doesn't know he's coming on. That's the problem.
I didn't know whether this was like a Lassie moment and we're going to interpret what he's saying.
No,
somebody into a well.
Paul Mullen's stuck in a well.
Tim's watching the news. He's blissfully unaware this is happening. He's just.
While we're on Tim though, Paul Mullen is a beautiful draft pick. Not enough Panorama North in £400 million, or sorry, Panorama National in £400 million drafts.
Oh, mate, it's beautiful, man. Like we did in our Discord when the FM22 first came out. We did Wrexham as our monthly challenge. I managed to get Wrexham to score 103 goals that season. Paul Mullen scored 54, and I still didn't get promoted. That's how bad at the game I am.
And you got sacked.
Yeah.
It's the Tony Jameson experience.
Hey, you know what I mean? It's a ride. Like, you know, like Alton Towers is a ride. Like, it's not really fun, but you like the idea of it, and you get there and you're like, it's not really for me. That's me, football manager.
Tony, you're the only person I've ever met that makes a one-season challenge into a journeyman. It's a skill.
Exactly. You know, it is like a roller coaster. There are highs, there are lows, and it makes a lot of people throw up. So it's brilliant.
Four clubs he got through in that challenge.
It was brilliant. Yeah. 3 of them were close to maintenance. I was desperate. But yeah, I think there's definitely players in that side, Matt, that I'm liking the look of. I like Tavernier, as Rich said. I think Tavernier is a great shout. I think Cherby is a good pick as well. Boyata, former wonder kid, maybe now more of an elder statesman of the game, possibly. Is he lacking a bit of pace maybe at the back? Is that something you'd maybe consider, or
perhaps? I guess it's slightly less important, considering obviously fast strikers are still important, but it does feel like with more people targeting the slightly beefier gentleman on this particular draft, it's maybe going to be, I mean, not that they're not quick, but I think that generally speaking, the taller a striker is, the slower they tend to be, with a few exceptions with the absolute like specimens like Haaland. But it might not be quite as important as it would have done if the meta was more related to just pure rapid pace. I think it's the sort of thing that I don't think will matter too much, provided you can like force them out wide and maybe just rely on not set pieces, but rely on defending the crosses instead, win the aerial battles, and then you won't have to worry quite so much about pace. Obviously, you probably won't be able to play such a high line, but then we all kind of do, don't we? So maybe that's something Tim will have to take into consideration, but he probably already has. I don't think it's going to be that much trouble.
Yeah, I was going to say, we have seen him be pretty good at set plays previously, so I think we might be able to go back through to Tim now, because I think I can hear him in my head. So let's just see if he's coming through. It is apparently, the mic quality is not great, but we can get him, so let's see if we can speak to Tim now, shall we? Let's pull him through. Just wait for the technology to catch up.
We'll put the rope down the well and wait for the grab.
Lassie, run quick.
Tim, come home.
Hey!
You can hear me now?
We can, Tim. Tim, how are you, buddy?
Sorry about that. I'm fine, thank you. I'm amazed to be here. It's great.
Mate, it's a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for coming on. Obviously, you were fantastic in the path to the playoffs. You created drama. You got right to the last day with Dupe as well, and it was all. Everyone was just backing you because we've seen what you've done in other tournaments. You've come here and you've just brought that momentum with you. Like, you've got to be feeling confident, right?
Yeah. I've come up with a new. Basically, I did the draft yesterday, obviously, and it was like I had an idea in mind that was a bit more along the lines of what I've done before, but I'm coming up with something completely new. So I'm going to give that a go, which is interesting. Fellaini is the key to everything. I'm a bit obsessed with Fellaini at the moment. If I can get Fellaini working in the role that I think he can do, then I'm going to destroy some people. Good style. If it goes wrong, it's going to go wrong very badly. Also, of course, I've got Chan and I've got Nainggolan as midfielders, and they are a bomb waiting to go off.
As an angry triangle you've got there, isn't it? It's like the Bermuda Triangle. That should be, that's not the tactic title.
And Acerbi as well. Acerbi is an animal. I think he's got 17 aggression. Nainggolan's nearly 20. Can is pretty nearly 20 as well. So, and Fellaini obviously is nearly 20 aggression. So if I can keep them all on the pitch and it works the way that it's supposed to work, it's going to be good. And obviously I've got Ronaldo up front, who I think I'm going to use in the right way, because if you don't use him in the right way, and I've got experience of it, the dude is dreadful. So hopefully I can just stick some chances on the plate, and with the 20 finishing or 19 finishing, whatever he's got at the moment, since they downgraded him, he can slap a few in the corner of the net for me. That's the strategy.
Fantastic. Hopefully that's the only slapping he does. Matt, we are talking here about an angry team from Tim. Tim doesn't look like he's angry, but it sounds like his training and his team talkers are going to be like, you know, that bit in Clockwork Orange where he's got all the players' eyes open, just showing them really angry images. Like, is this a wise move?
Throw him off, all right. It's like that really nice old man that just lives down the street and turns out he runs like a dogfighting ring, but you wouldn't know. Like, it's like you say, if you can keep them on the pitch and out of prison, you've got a really good chance of actually having some success with that. I'm curious to see what you do with Fellaini, though.
Yeah, I'm not giving it away, but I've got a plan. He's going to be integral to the plan. I've basically got 3 formations. Anyone who's got a wrap formation, I've got a formation for you. If you want to play wrap football, I can play wrap football, but I've also got this other one that I'm going to start with. So I think there's 2 very meta formations in this competition, and I'm quite confident I can get the best of both of those. It's just a matter of getting Fellaini going. I think he's far better at something than he looks, and I'm going to give it a go.
I'm all for this. I'm all for this. I mean, Lama, is there obviously a potential that Fellaini might serve an 8-year suspension at some point at one of the local constabularies? If you can get the best out of Fellaini, this is a great pick, right?
Well, it depends what kind of role. It all sounds very cryptic. I'm expecting Fellaini to don the gloves and just and be taking the sticks for this one. The other thing I'm really looking forward to in Tim's draft, I'm no great fan of Cristiano Ronaldo, the man. I would love to be in the stands when he gets subbed off in the 60th minute for Paul Mullin, and he has to shake Mullin's hand as Mullin runs on. That would be a beautiful moment for me.
Yeah, I've got to bring Paul on at some point. I love Paul Mullin. There's a documentary coming out on Disney Plus soon about us with the owners and whatever, Ryan Reynolds, Rob McElhenney. Anyone who watches that will know why I love Paul Mullin so much. What it is that when I was a kid, this is actually a shirt from the year we got promoted, which it was a hell of a long time ago. We got promoted to League One way back in the day. And it was great. We had a great team, and then terrible owners dragged us down to the conference and nearly killed us. And it's taken us 15 years to find a formula now where we can come back and rise up to the top. And Paul Mullin is like the symbol of Wrexham coming back now, because he is an absolutely lethal killing machine at that level. And we've been crying out for a hero for a long, long, long time. And that dude is a proper hero to us.
Well, so spare a thought for us, Tim. Some of us are still on that descent. I'm a Birmingham fan. We're still in the middle of being killed.
We've been to hell and back, and it's not nice.
Well, leave a seat down for us and we'll jump into it for you.
Yeah, it's terrible, isn't it?
To be honest, 15 years worth of terror sounds like my playoffs record. So it's
that's your autobiography.
That's light at the end of the tunnel. Tim, absolute pleasure having you in. and genuinely, like, it's always great to chat to you. You're so good fun when you come on these things. Best of luck for Sunday. Hopefully, we'll see some fireworks. Can't wait to call those games.
we will.
We'll see you soon, buddy. Have a great evening. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Bye.
Cheers, pal.
Tim.
Take it easy, buddy.
Take care, man.
Oh, what a guy. What a guy. I'm a big fan. I'm a massive fan. Speaking of people I'm a massive fan of, is Mr. Stinger. Now, interestingly enough on this as well, is on this picture, eagle-eyed viewers will notice Stinger has the T-shirt on. Last night, Stinger was part of Team Taps Off, and I'll be honest, I loved it. I was all for it, and then he put a T-shirt on, and I turned off. So I was just like, fine, whatevs. You've just lost a viewer there, but again, he's been there. He's been about. He knows where he's at. Matt, can we make a case for Stinger?
Yeah,
we say this every month, right?
Just on the basis of the defense. I know that he picked Ramos really late, but at the end of the day, no matter where you pick him, he's still Sergio Ramos. He's still going to do a job. When you've already picked, presumably, what you think is a really good defense, and then you find yourself at the end, oh, it's Sergio Ramos. It's like robbing a bank and then finding another vault underneath with more money in it and just walking out with it, and they've allowed him to do it. It's brilliant. None of the alarms are enough or nothing. I do maybe wonder if the strike force maybe would, but then with Sane cutting in on the left, or wherever you put him, really, he was one of the picks that we highlighted originally, and he's picked him up, and yes, he's a lot of money, but I don't know. Maybe if he can get the goals out of that team, then I think he'll be able to keep them out the other end, and with that, he's got a good chance. And he's got Polini in the midfield. Well, what do you want?
I mean, you make a great point. Sane, I love Sane in this match engine. He's fantastic. Rashford, for me, is a bit hit and miss. I think like either he blows hot or he blows cold. If you can get the best out of Rashford, I've used Rashford and got the best out of him. I've also used Rashford and got nothing out of him. And my word, I've noticed. Like, so you're right. If he can get those players up top playing, then he's definitely got a chance. And you were saying there about the defence. Yeah, Botman and Tar were the centre halves he had. And then, as you say, out of nowhere was this massive just mic drop moment of, I'll just get Sergio Ramos as well. So, yeah, he's always going to be there now. He knows his way around this place. He's a tactician. It's got to be his time. Surely it's got to be his time. Stinger, come on, it's got to be your time, right? We're calling it now, okay? A man who in the playoffs won, had a fantastic time, absolutely brilliant time, was Murph FM. He came in and he took Breezy, not quite to the wire, but he certainly made it pretty comfortable. I mean, Tim obviously finished third and Duke finished fourth, but there was times where Murph was looking unplayable in that tournament. Now, Llama, let's have a little look at what Murph's got. What are you thinking?
I'm disgusted.
It's Ollie Watkins, isn't it? That's what
It's
it is.
Ollie Watkins. Murph is meant to be a Birmingham City fan. The first rule of drafting as a Birmingham fan is you don't draft filler players. Ollie Watkins, disgusting. I hope he finishes bottom. He's disgraced the shirt. All jokes aside, there are some good players in there, though, aren't there? And honestly, having had a look through this squad, there's so much creativity in that midfield. There's Charles de Kettlebell, James Maddison, Coop Miners as well, Danny Ceballos if he's in the team. So much creativity. For me, whether Murph has a good tournament or not, I think comes down to the big man up top, because Weghorst is another one of those players I've seen draft and be unplayable, and another one that I've seen cannot hit a pig's backside with a banjo when you get him on the wrong day.
I mean, you've got to think that with the supply line of De Ketelaere, with Locatelli, with Coop Miners, with Trippier, I mean, you've got Danny Ceballos, you've got to think like he's got to score goals. But as you say, if Weghorst has a bad day, where's the goals coming from? And Silva,
Hopefully not
maybe.
Ollie Watkins.
Yeah, I mean, he probably won't play. But I think I hope not. Now that I've said that, but I mean, yeah, I think there's a starting 11. I think there's a lot to like about there. Demirel, Laporte, he's got James Maddison as well. So I think he's kind of got his set players taken care of. Maddison and Trippier, maybe. So Unai Simon's a good shout for goalkeeper as well. So yeah, I think he's maybe there or thereabouts. I did pause for a second because I've just been given a little sort of other tidbit information. We do have an artist impression of Wout Weghorst that was drawn by the United City FM.
It's like he's in the room.
So Drafts and Crafts, not just a football show, also an art show. So
Are we
like,
taking a
hashtag
break
this.
for Morph now?
I tell you what, chat. If you want to send us a picture, feel free.
You should say, Kev, age 37 at the bottom
and this one's coming from the United City FM, who's 13 apparently. When he grows up, he wants to be a footballer.
I'm not allowed to show my art. It's significantly more erotic. So,
You mean you don't want a hentai rendition of Wout Weghorst?
oh no, I drew it because I wanted it. Nobody else is allowed to see it. It's just for old Rich.
Just Wout
Mate.
with tentacles.
It's abstract. What does it mean?
Hell of a goalie.
Tony, you appear to have just stabbed a pen in the paper. Yeah, I have. Yeah. Right, so we're gonna just veer off ever so slightly from our surrealist artistic moments to some predictions. I think let's mix it up a bit rather than just looking at players all the time. This is the current predictions for how we think the playoffs is going to go. Matt, you chose our Group A winner. You're predicting Breezy. You're predicting FM Girl to win Group B. The overall winner, McKinns.
Yeah, I had to be a bit different to what I wasn't just going to pick someone and then have them win the whole thing. It never works like that, does it? It's just not how these things work. You do really well, and then the arse falls out of it. That's just how it always is. But Breezy's team is so strong. I think that there's no way that Breezy isn't going to qualify. So he had to be the group winner of Group A. And with Alice, some of the picks that she's got. Oh, sorry, I've just been handed a beer out of the ether there. She just picked so many of the just a big shelf there. That's just
And tune into Drafts and Crafts where we can communicate with parallel universes.
just pull it out of another universe. Oh god, yeah. Alice has got so many of the players that we highlighted that were going to be excellent picks, and for that reason alone, I think she's going to do really well in the group. But I just wonder if McKinns can spend the group stage sorting out tactics and stuff, because he has got an incredible squad that can maybe see him through the whole competition. He just has to qualify, and I think he can go all the way.
Excellent stuff. Yeah, you know what? For the first three picks to look at, I think that's strong. That's really strong. Let's see what else we've got, shall we? We'll compare it. That's our barometer, Matt. That's our barometer. Rich Owens. He's got Breezy as well for Group A. He's got Holly Plays for Group B. Overall winner, Breezy. Rich, Breezy will do the double.
Why not? Why not? He was just so good. Just so good in the first path of the playoffs. He's got a tactic that he understands. He's got a very, very strong team. I just can't look past him. It's not that I think that other players and other competitors in the competition aren't as good. I just don't see. I just don't think that there's anybody that he can't beat. The tactic works for him. The squad is strong. There's no reason for me that he can't go all the way and win the whole thing.
Okay, interesting. Any other views, production truck, on this? Oh, Breezy has apparently invited Rich to his wedding now. Excellent. Okay. Presumably there's all that talk of bridesmaids, Rich. So, lovely stuff. I've put in the chat there that you're a Bariza. I think it made more sense in my head than anything. Never
Surely
mind.
a Bacardi Breezer.
A Bacardi Breezer. There you
Come
go.
on.
Get him on. That's why he's on the podcast. We almost got rid of him after episode 1, but we're keeping him now because of that.
So close.
Mr. Diz who?
Hey, keep an eye out. Looking at Player Center coming soon.
Yeah. Llama. I like this. This is definitely we've gone nothing the same here. Group A winner, Fox in the Box, making what would be a monumental return. Group B, Limo, And then the overall winner, you've backed him, Stinger, to finally land the gold.
The people's champ.
Mm.
Well, I won't talk too much about Fox's squad because we're going to go through that later, but it is dripping with quality. And I love a bit of narrative. You know, like the winner of the Grand National always has a story every year. Like 6 months ago, this horse was a Pritt stick and they've rebuilt it. And I would just love the Fox in the box comeback story. The scene has missed him. Wouldn't it be great if he just strode into the playoffs like a rippling Adonis, got all the way to the final? It would be a story for the ages.
So
I think we've just got I think we've got an artist's impression of the horse now, have we?
Let's get me drawing again.
I just really want to go stationery shopping with Llama now. Like just picking up some Yoo-hoo. I tell you what, loves the soft. Absolutely can't. Yeah.
Take me to Paper Chase with you.
Oh, you know what? That would be a cracking day out anyway, wouldn't it? Like let's do that anyway. You know. But yeah, just walking around, just like standing next to like, you know, children picking up Pritt stick going, Grand National winner.
Sugar, that one.
Yeah. You'll never guess what that Pritt stick used to be when it was younger, or what it's going to grow into.
But yeah, I have gone Stinger for the win, even though I don't see him topping his group. And again, it's for the narrative. This is Denmark Euro 92. Stinger didn't qualify for this tournament. He's only here by virtue of Dupe moving house. He's come in at the 11th hour. The story's written, isn't it?
That's a good point, actually. We didn't actually say that. Yeah, Stinger the Ringer. We'll start calling him as we as the game progresses, because he is in substituting for Dupe. So Dupe, good luck moving. Obviously bottled it. He just thought he didn't really fancy it. He got lucky, and he was like, right, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to come back later when it's not 1,000 degrees, because that man streams in a greenhouse. So Dupe doesn't need to be in these conditions. Right, back to the squads. Let's have a little look now. And it's the playoffs gaffer, Mozza, with quite a Mozza squad. Now, take that how you want as to whether you think that's a good thing or a bad thing. I quite like it personally. I think it's decent. Rich, Mozza went to the final in the last season. Can he go one better this year? Or is he not even going to make it that far? And is he going to be sat with a bottle of Iron Brew wondering where it all went wrong?
Is Mozza coming on? Have we got Mozza? have we got Mozza lined up? I'm scared. I don't know what to say.
I mean, the rest of your Drafts and Crafts experience is basically dependent upon the answer you give now. Because
isn't it? Yeah, just Rich just got taken out and just disposed
was that the
of.
door?
It's weird. But this time, visitors. You know what? Defensively, it's great. I think as defenses go, he's got one of the stronger ones in the tournament. I think players like Mancini, Sula, like Cancelo, like even Connor Cody and John Stones, like solid defensive picks. They're in there to deal with big beefy men up front, get some big beefy men at the back. Just a beefy back line, like Bellingham, Llorente, like Klaassen, Bernardo Silva. Great midfield options. Really, really solid central midfielders. Bellarabi, Chiesa, pacey, tricky out wide, absolutely fantastic. But then he's just not signed any strikers, which is just, I don't understand. I just don't know where the goals are going to come from there. Christian Benteke is on my screen. Why is Christian Benteke on my screen?
Well, is it Aston Villa's Christian Benteke, or is it Christian Benteke after he left and is now any of those Christian Bentekes, the Liverpool or Crystal Palace or even Belgium's Christian Benteke?
I don't know, but I just don't get it. Can we get a welfare check on Mozza? Is everything okay at home, mate? It's a weird squad. Oh no, it's a weird forward line. I don't like the strikers, but I love everything else. I'm just very in the middle with it. But like you say, it's a very Mozza team. It's a very, very Mozza team. It's big. It's powerful. He's going to do well with it. He's drafted. He's drafted those players for a reason. But they're not. It's not a front line I would have chosen. Let's put it that way.
We've got,
And now we welcome in Mozza.
he is in your house. Shout out, by the way, to Fox in the Box in the chat. Mozza has gone for a goalless approach here. That is brutal.
If he draws every game 0-0, he'll go unbeaten.
The thing in it, you know, it's smart. It's smart. The fact that he's drafted Benteke ahead of Andy Carroll is criminal in so many ways. There's already been a poll about whether or not I make another lasagna gag. I mean,
We'd be disappointed if you didn't, to be honest.
well, you'd also be disappointed if I did.
Correct.
That's
Yeah, we
its
can't
own.
win either way. Just do it now.
I think we're past that, mate. I think we should just move on.
Look, I just need to get Betcha all out of my system, right? And then we can move on, right? Because it's just getting
more. Rigatoni Jameson, I'm furious with you.
oh, you make me absolutely fusilli.
Just write that one down with pen and paper.
I'm with the chat.
Bye, everyone. I'm on
roll
tour
the
next
credit.
year. If anyone's interested, right, it's going to be great. Hasta la vista, baby. Oh dear. Right, yeah. Look, Mozza's got a Mozza squad. We said that. I think that's decent. I like Bellingham in there. I think Bellingham's great. I like Hickey. I think Cancelo's a great pick. Connor Cody, interesting one. John Stone's good. Sule, I like Sule. I like Silva. I really like Chiesa. I know that Mozza really likes Chiesa as well and got a lot out of him last season. And I love Llorente. The man plays everywhere. But he's also got Florent Llorente, who's going to play up front, who's 107. And presumably he's been brought in because he's heard that there's a lasagna. So he's just going to sit and alongside Timo Werner, who might well be a stroke of genius. But yeah, Mozza's confident. Mozza is confident. He thinks he's cracked a formation and a tactic now. So we shall see how he gets on. And if he does win, then it's clearly rigged, right? Because he got to the final last time. So there will be a stewards.
He got to the final last 2 times, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, there's a steward's inquiry if he goes any further at this point, I think. So it's basically the integrity of the competition relies on Mozza getting knocked out early. So
Well, I think for the next playoffs, there's a stipulation where everybody competes to face Mozza in the final, and he just goes there by default with a 3-goal head start.
next playoff, Mozza has to compete hatless. Just to...
That's Azon. We've been through this. It's different guy altogether.
Different guy
source of his
altogether. It is exactly. Yeah, you take his hat off and you go, "What? He's got cornrows. Why has he got that?" Because you wouldn't expect that, would you? And he's not told his parents about it. That's why he's got his hat on all the time.
Thought he's had him since he was like 10.
He saw David Beckham and Rio Ferdinand get them in the World Cup in 2002, and he thought, "I'm having a bit of that." And he's never been able to take them out since. He's found the only hairdresser in Ayrshire that's been able to do it, and then he's moved. And then he went, "I'm going to have to put a hat on now. I look like a fucking idiot. I'm in my 30s." Mrs. Lewis has never seen him without a hat on.
What
his
kind of
wedding
glue do they
day, he
put
had that on.
these with? Grand National winner. This is ridiculous. Can't get it out.
This is why he's not allowed to go Alton Towers in case he gets stuck on the rides. Stand comes out.
Constantly looking like he's just come back from Sandals, Jamaica.
Is there a Sandals in Ayrshire?
There is, yeah. It's McSandals. It's
Strikingly different experience.
Yeah.
Instead of steel drums,
there,
it's just some guy hitting a can of Tennants. It's yeah.
it's just two bins, two bin bits. Feeling tepid. That's what.
Apparently, the chat are saying Moz's not even here, so you're going to have to just record all this and send it through.
This is going to be the first time that Twitter has had to post a clip that's 9 minutes long. It's a thread.
I can't believe we've got another 4 hours of this.
It's a shame he's not come on straight after because he'd have to defend all this. He'd have to take his hat off to prove that he didn't have cornrows.
Underneath the hat, there's just another tiny Mozza.
Anyway, Matt, you were saying about JDFM's squad. You might not remember it. You've slept since then. But...
I've had 2 birthdays.
Moz's haircut's been in fashion and back out of fashion twice.
My throat hurts.
Sorry. JDFM. This is the professional show, by the way, if you've never seen this before.
Most of JDFM's squad have retired now. They were under 21s when we started this conversation.
Oh dear. Talk to me. Somebody, Matt, talk to me about JDFM.
Great pick. Love that pick of Kepa. He's so underrated in draft mode because he is so cheap. It's like the game sees him in real life and goes, yeah, no, we've seen him in real life, but actually his attributes really solid for £3.8 million. There's just some really good picks in here. There's a lot of picks that I just really like, those deep cut picks like Vindal. Absolutely love that pick. Who was the other one I really, really liked out of that? I've lost him now. Oh, Gaia, what a man. Mother Earth himself. Just ridiculous up and down. Love those picks. I love a fullback. It's just occurred to me. I just love a fullback. De Bruyne, it's an expensive pick. It was like a quarter of his budget, but you've got Kevin De Bruyne in your team. It's like bringing your dad to an under-9s game and making him play in the centre of midfield. It's brilliant. And then he's thrown out because he's got kids. But that's...
We told you he's not allowed to be here. There's a sign on the door. That's his picture there on the door. Like, I don't care the fact he's got a hat on now, right? It's definitely him.
No, he's like that lad that used to be in Lazio, was like under 18s, like he was 42. It's that all over again. Yeah, he has got a passport. We've just lost it. We just don't know where it is.
That guy who's in the under 19s and his son's in the under 15s.
Yeah. Obafemi Martins, I'm clearly 19, totally 19. It's like that episode of Friends with Joey. Goretzka, great pick. I love Goretzka. I think Goretzka's a great pick. Again, he spent a lot of money there in his midfield. He spent money on his Goretzka, on his De Bruyne. He's obviously saved money on Andy Carroll. Finally, someone drafted Andy Carroll after God knows how many tournaments where no one's picking him. But Gaia's great. Livramento I love as well. A really pacey fullback. Again, wing-back is a good shout. Agbona, De Ligt. I like it. Ferran Torres as well with Moise Kean up top. Bit of pace. Come on, JD. This is your time. Let's see what you can do as we push on. Because otherwise, I think there's just been too many failures for you. So you have to rethink stuff. But yeah, it'll be good. Because he was brilliant in the path to the playoffs. So let's hope that continues. A man we haven't seen for a while, and I'm delighted that he's back because he was a fantastic, upstanding pillar of the community, made some great content. One of the founding fathers of the PvP scene as we know it, and obviously the Streamer Showdown. Fox in the Box is back, and back with a bang. And I think there's a lot to have a look at in this squad, Llama, and a lot to like. Is this Foxy marking his territory?
His leg is cut.
That is not a pun I was even intended to make there, by the way.
I honestly, I was absolutely drooling when I saw the attacking power in this squad. Leao, Traore, and Kane is frightening to me. I mean, Traore's got pace of 22, acceleration of 28, and Leao is fabulous as well. Kane is a little bit more pedestrian, but he is going to be the Fox in the box for Fox in the box, I would say. And going a little bit deeper on the pitch, Tonali is a Rolls Royce of a player. Interested to see whether he'll play him as a deep lying playmaker. I think he would. And if you need a Marshall at the back, right, Is there a better defender on the game than Van Dijk? I'm not sure. It's questionable.
Yeah, there's so much to like here. There's so much to like, and then there's Adama Traore. So you can just chuck him on 10 minutes to go and just run, because that's the thing. If you're up against some leggy defenders towards the end of a game and you want to create something for maybe a set piece to put it on the head of Skamaka, which we've spelt correctly, by the way, West Ham admins, you can't even do it. We've spelled it correctly for our picture here. We're not even getting paid. So Skamaka's on there. Like, Oxlade-Chamberlain plays all over the place. Well done as well, by the way, for making sure his name fits on the caption screen, because we did have some issues with it last time to try and squeeze it all in there. That's what she said. But it's good. Senti's great. Guerrero, I think, is fantastic as well. I think Fox in the Box has come to play, and he's come to show us what he's all about. Shout out for Stinger, by the way, who said that I've said that it's someone's time more than Bruce Buffer has. So that's... I'm just getting excited. It's nearly game week, This is what it's all about, right? So next up, a man who's been picked to win by one person and definitely picked to win to the group by two people. It is Rich, a man whose wedding you're off to apparently in very soon. Hopefully you've bought him a nice toaster as part of his wedding present. Talk to me about Breezy and what you think is so good about this squad that this is going to be the one that runs it home and adds to his silverware collection.
I just really like this squad. It's got, for me, it plays to the formation that Breezy, the formation Breezy used to kind of do so very, very well in the path of the playoffs. To me, this squad plays really, really well into that. He's got big, beefy centre backs. He's got players like Bonucci, he's got Tomori, even Dawson, who's not the most mobile, but he's big and he's strong and he's good in the air. He's got like Dendonka, who can do the same kind of job as well. He's got big, beefy centre backs. He's got some good options out wide at full back as well. In the middle, he's got James Ward-Prowse, who for me, if you're looking at centre midfield picks, you can't get much better than a JWP because he just does so much. Set pieces, you are set for the entire tournament as long as you can keep James Ward-Prowse fit, which his attributes lend itself to. His natural fitness, his stamina lends itself to getting the most out of him, game in, game out. And then there's goals up front. There's beef. You've got Jamie Vardy, who's ridiculously quick. You've got Ivan Toney, great in the air. You've got Belotti, who is a proven goal scorer. And you've got Luca as well, who, again, 6'7", 6'8", like just great in the air. It's just, for me, it's a great squad, and I think he's drafted it to get the best out of it as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he manages to do with it.
Yeah, there's definitely some players I like in there. I love what he got out of Tony in the path to the playoffs. He was lethal, and he was fantastic in that run where he was unbeatable. Essentially, he just looked so good. I love Tomori as well. I think Tomori is fantastic. There's a poll in the chat at the minute. Who is the better defender, Dawson and Van Dijk? Dawson's winning by a country mile because, of course, he is as the best defender in the game. JWP, everyone knows about him. And Mark Noble as well, a man who's potentially brought in for nostalgia, but potentially for genius reasons. We should probably welcome our next guest, shall we?
It's Mark
Breezy.
Noble. Oh,
It's Mark Noble.
I thought it was Noble's time.
Oh, Breezy. Breezy, what time is it, Breezy? Is it your time? Is it our time? Whose time is it? We've got that issue again, haven't we? We've got that whole
Time of silence.
It's not
another
Breezy's
well.
time, chat. Shame. There's bits and pieces I like here, though. There's bits and pieces I like here. I like the fact again that obviously we've managed to get Donnarumma in the graphic as well. Cristante, I think, is good. I like Jared Bowen as well. I think Jared Bowen's a good shout. He's got McTominay. Do you know what I mean? That's an interesting one. I think that'll be good because again he can work as centre half. He can also work as a midfielder as well. So it gives him options. Godfrey is a nice shout as well. So for me, I think it's going to be there or thereabouts, to be honest. I mean, Luca, maybe the only question mark I would have over Luca is it Is it Luca that's going to be playing in a couple of years' time in the game, or is it Luca that's going to be right bang ready to go now? Breezy, can you maybe answer that question? Can we hear you?
I hope so.
Yay! Everyone say hello to
Yes,
M Breezy. Breezy, how are you, buddy?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Better now that my microphone's working, because that's the second time I happen when I come on here. So,
Hey,
you know.
no worries, man. It's a pleasure to have you. It's a pleasure to have you. Breezy, Rich, Breezy. Obviously, you'll know each other at the wedding. But, Rich will be the man who'll be, eyeing up what's going on
marrying
there.
Breezy, by the sounds of things. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to be very happy together, drafting forever.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the support. What can I say? So,
Oh, mate, to be honest, the support comes fairly easy, man. You rushed the path to the playoffs. You were like pretty much, like no one could touch you essentially, and you've come in with a draft that's not a million miles from that. We're just saying that there's a couple of players that personally I love Tomori. I think Tomori's a fantastic centre half. A centre half who's actually got a bit of pace and acceleration. I think you got the best out of Ivan Toney I think people have seen in a long time. You got JWP as well. Obviously, you've got the West Ham love with Mark Noble. Like, what's your thoughts coming into it? I mean, you've got to be pretty confident, really, haven't you?
I suppose I should. I guess given all that. I don't know. Like, it's a weird one. Like, I think at the start of the draft last night, it definitely threw me just how different it was compared to the last one. Obviously, we're being split into two different pools of 5. When players started going sort of after my first initial picks, I was like, okay, I might be in a bit of trouble here. But like, thankfully, once we got to like the English and not Scottish, but like the English and all the other players and stuff as well, like the squad started to fill out a little bit more. And I think looking at it again today, I actually think, I've got pretty close to the type of squad that I had last time, or a squad that I wanted. Like, really, if I could swap out one player, it would probably be Vardy for Lukaku, right? But like that's on me for not taking the advantage of having the choice of having first pick. So there was always a chance Lukaku was going to go. But I think getting Vardy in alongside like Belotti, I think Belotti's going to be really, really good in this system I've got. And obviously Ivan Toney's tried and tested me. I think I've used him in pretty much every save on the game this year, and obviously in the path to the playoffs, and he's been nothing short of exceptional for me. So. Yeah, I think I've given myself a good chance, really. Like I even despite the difficulties I had initially with the draft last night, I think I've given myself a pretty good opportunity here to finally claim some silverware.
Yeah, I think so, man. I think there's a lot, as I said, there's a lot to like about that, and to look at it now, and for you to say you were panicking a little bit, it doesn't look like a squad that has a bit of panic about it. Rich, we'll let you come straight in, obviously, to make sure you get a seat up on the top table at the wedding. Try and nudge out at least one family member who's now less important than you. Lavish Breezy with some love. Or put a question to him. Make him think. What's he having for his meal? Ask that. Maybe find out.
Yeah, what's the vegetarian option? Because that kind of depends on if I'm coming or not.
It most likely be a vegan wedding, to be fair. So, like, my sister's vegan, so sorted.
Happy days, man. We're going to have a good time. I mean, to be fair, you've pretty much asked the question, because mine was going to be if there was one player that you could have picked up, and obviously, I think Lukaku for Jamie Vardy is a fairly sensible one. I think tactically, you had it so spot on during past the playoffs. I mean, not wanting to give too much away, but you've got a system that you've used, you've got a system that you're comfortable with, you've got a system that's got your results. Is that the kind of system that you've got to be kind of basing? Because to me, the way you drafted kind of lends itself to a similar kind of a system. Is that the same kind of thing you're going to be looking at moving forwards, or are you looking at a few kind of tweaks in between now and Sunday?
No, it's good. I don't mind telling people it's going to be exactly the same. Like I think I said to Ali the other night, why fix something that's not broken, right? Like I think I think I had one defeat in the path of the playoffs. That was against Tim, which I think I said at the time was fairly unlucky. And obviously I got some wins that were fairly lucky as well. So it balanced itself out pretty well. But that system's worked wonders for me. Like not even just in the path of the playoffs. The last time I was in the playoffs, I think back in the last year, like I got to the final with it. So it's yet to let me down. And I know there's some strong opinions about the 3-striker thing, but you got to learn how to stop it. And if people are confident enough, think they can learn how to make that, to stop that system being so effective, then best of luck to them, because judging on past challenges, they're probably going to need it.
Absolutely, that's the thing. It is very much a case of you got to learn how to defend against these things. We used to say it all the time when everyone was kicking off about strikerless, going, learn to defend against it. There will be a way of stopping it. So you're right. Just because it works a lot doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work all the time. And as I say, it's now about sort of trying to stop it. And there was a question there. What are you drinking? Are you drinking a breezer, a Bacardi breezer by any chance?
This is a watermelon margarita from Greece. So, you know, Mrs. B's away for the weekend, so I'm living it up, Tony, as you can see. So,
Mate, beautiful work. Was not expecting that. Out of all the answers you could have given me, that was up there with Richard's bloody guava beer.
Well, I like guava. I like beer. That does sound fantastic to me. I have to give that a try myself, I think.
Well, you're Rich. A little wedding present for Breezy. Take him a little case of guava beer. Matt, anything you want to put towards Breezy?
Oh, let me just get your squad up again, because there was definitely something in there that I really, really liked, and I have forgotten who. Oh, Demir Bay. Bloody love of Demir Bay. He's just a monster. I just love. What was your thought? Was he actually in your draft plans, or did you just pick him because he is Demir Bay?
I mean, like, to be fair, my draft plan was just shortlist as many players that I thought would fit the system as possible, and Demir Bay came into that pretty well. Like, I think at the start, my initial ideal sort of playmakery type midfielder, because I had Bruno Guimaraes in the last one. I thought my ideal one would have been Tonali, but obviously he went fairly early. But I think that's the thing with those sort of creative midfielders in FM, especially. There's just an absolute wealth of them. So if you miss out on, and they're all, a lot of them are fairly well priced as well. So if you miss out on Tonali, you can definitely get someone of equal, sometimes even better quality. And I feel like I was looking at that position to fill, and it was a toss up between him and someone else. I think it was actually Cristante who I actually ended up getting anyway. But Demir Bay, I was just looking for him again, looking for his technical attributes, his mentals were just so good. And I do remember there was a showdown. I think it might have been for you, Matt. Actually, I think it was like you had him in a showdown, and he ran the show for you. So, and obviously Holly was devastated to miss out on him. So that also that also makes it a little bit sweeter as well. So.
Yeah, I think he was your little sort of bargain pick, wasn't he, Matt? I think you had him earmarked as a player to watch out for. So yeah, no, a very, very good player. We're very excited to see how he gets on. Lara, final thoughts for Breezy? Anything you've picked out about his squad, or anything you think that he might be a little wary about, possibly?
Well, yeah, the one thing I was going to ask is that in Group A, where Breezy's been drawn, you've got both Tim Lewis and Mozza, who've both been quite vocal about how they found the answer to a 3 at the front system. But you're also going to be playing against Hood, who's going to play 3 up front himself. So what are you going to do to try and deal with a 3 at the front system when you're facing it?
Well, I faced it in the part of the playoffs, and I dealt with it pretty well, I think. I think Murph played one against me, dispatched of him quite comfortably. Again, Tim beat me with it, so I don't know why he's banging on about a rat destroyer formation. Like, usual one for you before, Tim. But yeah, if people want to try and stop it, again, I'm not really going to try and do anything different. Like I said, I think the tactic that I've built works well, and I think it's got the good balance of having the back 5 with the wing backs and the attacking 3 as well. And I think as long as I've got a combative midfield, at the end of the day, looking through my centre mids. But that's only the key thing coming against people. I look through my centre mids compared to a lot of people. So I think I've got one of the best centre mids across the whole day. I think my midfield options are really, really good, and there's a load of versatility as well. If it doesn't work for me, and I need to change something up. I've got a few other ideas in mind, but I don't see it going that way. I think that it's like I say, the system's true to work. The players I've got for it are going to do a good enough job, and most importantly, Craig Dawson. I don't think people are ready for Craig Dawson on Sunday. He's gonna tear it up. He's really going to tear it up.
I don't think Craig Dawson is ready for Craig Dawson.
No.
I don't think you can be. I think it's one of those things. It just happens to you. Craig Dawson just happens. So
yeah, Craig Dawson is more of a concept than a person.
Yeah, exactly. Couldn't agree more.
Well, mate, can't wait to see it, man. Hope you have a fantastic Sunday. Thanks, of course, for joining us. Genuinely, always a pleasure. And yeah, we'll see you on Sunday. And best of luck for it. Yeah.
Looking forward to it. And good job tonight as always, gents. It's been a really fun show so far.
Cheers, mate. Genuinely enjoy it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Good luck.
Take care, man.
Right. Breezy, pretty confident. And I think he probably should, to be honest. He probably should be pretty confident, really. He's come in there with a great performance and a really well thought out tactic. And again, called it out, going, right, if you think you've got the tactic to beat me, bring the tactic. And we are starting to get now, with a couple of days to go, that little bit of trash talk almost, maybe. People starting to now get a little bit more vocal about what they're going to do and what they're not going to do. Second yellow card, McInnes. is back. And he's back in the playoffs. He's not been around for a while. But of course, since that time, he's gone and won a showdown. And he's come back now. And he's come back with... I like the look of this. I like the look of this. Got to like it, surely, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, not just his wonderful suit and shirt combination in that picture. That alone is worth an extra point somewhere along the line. I think getting Lukaku, which is his first pick, that's what he wanted. He managed to get him. That sets you off on the right foot. He managed to get Rudiger straight after that. Again, stayed on the right foot. He got Carrasco. He got his first 3 picks. Bish, bash, bosh. That sets you up brilliantly because you're going to be picking 3 players for your starting 11 there, and he's got them straight off the bat. The fact is he was able to pick up Marlon as well from that slightly cheaper pick as well, but then later in the draft was able to pick up Callum Wilson to go alongside. So it's a wealth of quality in there too. And he got one of my bargain picks in Van der Beek as well, just 5 million quid. You get so much bang for your buck with 5 million quid.
Yeah.
Picked up Henderson as well. I love Henderson as a box to box. Gravenberch, maybe an FM23, he'll be he's still great, but maybe he'll be even more viable in FM23. I'd say with Alexander-Arnold as well. Like, I know he has some drawbacks, but I really, really like him in the game. He's clearly one of the best left wing backs that you can get. He's left, right? Yeah, no.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Right, so, yeah.
It's fine. They're the same.
Either or.
Nice to see Joe Gomez being picked as well. And I think maybe the one weakness could just be, I do wonder if he could have maybe got a different goalkeeper instead of Pacheco for the same kind of money. But like, come on. I think it's a great draft.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much in there that it's almost like it's like it's a shortlist. It's a shortlist, isn't it? Like, you look at that, go, I want all these players, and go, oh God, I've got them all. Brilliant. Like, it's perfect. Like, you're right, Van der Beek. I think for the price you get for Van der Beek, you get so much talent and versatility. I think Daley Blind is a good pick as well. Gallen is a nice, exciting, sort of cheaper pick as well. So Wijnaldum offers a bit of steel. Maybe there's a little question about is there enough legs in the midfield? But you're never going to play Wijnaldum and Henderson at the same time. I think it's clearly a like-for-like replacement in the event of an injury or a suspension. John McGinn's backside's going to do wonders. That's going to be running the midfield. And yeah. I like Rudiger as well. I think it's just, yeah, it's good. It's very good. And yeah, it's nice to see him back in, and he's ticked all the boxes. And you're right, he's going to be going through, and he's going to be there or thereabouts. He's going to take some stopping. So it's going to be very exciting to see McKinn's back. And one person who might stop him potentially is Limo. Is it time for us to change that to 3 more? Llama, you had to eat some lovely, really tasty humble pie in the path to the playoffs. Are you eating humble pie now, or are you just going straight to the Limo convention and going, sign me up?
I worship in the Church of Limo now. There's nothing worse than eating humble pie in an interview with the person that you've said their squad has some limitations to it. So I won't be making that mistake again. It's all about the tactic with Limo. He's going to be wedded to his 4-4-2. The big question mark for me is going to be he's missed out on one of his stalwarts in Dom Calvert-Lewin, a player that he quite likes to have up there. Instead, he's going to be having Raspadori, Adeyemi, Insigne, all very, very strong. So I would not bet against Limo. I think I've got him down as my tip to win the group, although I do think Stinger might be the person that wins the tournament overall.
It's a lot of fair comments, to be honest. Do you want to do something which we mentioned? Andy Robertson. I'm going to put you on the spot here, Llama. Andy Robertson, is he going to be your season's Tagliafico? You called out very famously that Tagliafico was a walking yellow card and was going to cost Limo so badly in the path to the playoffs. Robertson is prone to a yellow and red card and giving away a penalty, but Tagliafico was superb. Is he going to be Tagliafico the positive, or is he going to be Tagliafico the negative?
So this is how big a reputation United City FM has for being a nice guy. He was the one dissing Tagliafico, not me.
Also, was sorry, my mistake.
No, because Kev can do no wrong in your eyes, can he? Talk about attending weddings. You will not have a word said against United City FM.
All right, same question.
Is Andy Robertson going to get sent off? Absolutely not. Great draft.
Okay, excellent. If Kev's in the chat, Kev, will you? Oh yeah, he's in there. Tagliafico's a lunatic. Okay, fair enough. Also, as well, shout out to How We Roll Owen, by the way, for highlighting his own messages to read out, and we just ignored them all. He's having a great time. Sorry, Owen. Welcome in, David Nyholm, as well, by the way. So who's just rated in there. Very kind indeed. But yeah, I think Limo is starting to pick some players that are very un-Limo, I think, and it's very, very interesting to watch, very interesting to see. And he loves Pau Torres, we know he does. Will Hughes is a nice, interesting one. Ruben Neves was his first pick.
Yeah, he's gone Ruben Neves again.
Playoffs.
We were surprised by that as the first pick, weren't we?
We were, but then he scored after 8 minutes, and we went, "Oh, okay, fair enough. Maybe that was a reasonable pick," and he won that game 6-0. So it's like, what do we know? We don't know anything. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be a pretty decent setup for Limo. Barella he loves, and he's got my man Ramsdale in goal as well. So
good
it's going to be interesting to see how we get on. So that's the squads. That's the squads, right? We've done the groups. We know who's in what group. We might have a quick look and see if we can work out some of the fixtures, because there are some very, very exciting matchups, even in week one. Now, I'm just going to double check if we've got some graphics. If we haven't, I'll be able to talk you through them as we go through. This is what it's going to be. We haven't got graphics. I'm just hearing in my ear. So I will tell you all what is going to happen, right? Week one is Hood Gaming at home to Tim Lewis, Breezy at home to Fox in the Box, and Mozza at home to Stinger. Now, without wanting to be sensationalist at this point, is it possible whoever loses in the Stinger-Mozza match, they're going home? That early on? Like, that's
I think
not
it's
the match
both
you
of their
want.
times, though.
But it's everyone's time, really, in a sense, in a Craig Dawson way. Technically, it's everyone's time.
Yeah, I think the loser of that tie will be a Pritt stick in Staples within a week.
I think they've both been called much worse previously. So, so that's week one in Group A. Group B kicks off. Holly plays at home to McKinn's. Wow, what about that for a first match? JDFM versus FM Girl. It's the Wales derby. And then Murph takes on Limo. I mean, we're going all guns blazing from day one, right?
Well, you've got two previous showdown winners facing off against each other week one. That's going to be massive. That's going to be huge. Yeah. Obviously, the Derby Della Wales, or the Derby Della, lots of L's, hard to say. That's going to be exciting as well. I think there's no dud. There's no duds in game week one. There's no duds in any game week, are there? But it started big. It started big. And by the way, surprise, surprise, shocked that Mozza's got a home draw week one as well. What are the chances? Who would have guessed?
Oh, yeah, of course he has. Yeah, all the games are played outside of Mozza's house. Just he's not travelling anywhere. Like Limo used to draft a squad that all lived in Liverpool. Mozza's playing all his games right next door in his front garden.
You've actually got to drive to Ayrshire with a laptop and guess his Wi-Fi password. That's that's part of the remit. So.
Yeah, you've got to put your own cornrows in, otherwise he's not going to let you play.
Yeah, if you don't look like a Sean Paul album cover, you're not coming in. Sorry, Tom.
You got to do your own cables the same way. It's gonna be brilliant. There's loads of cable ties everywhere. Right, put your hell in there. Go on. Interesting one I'm going to give to you, Matt, for a match for match day one. Hood Gaming versus Tim Lewis. Now, that's two very contrasting styles, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Tim was talking a big game, so if he comes out in that game, smashes it, then he can back it up. But if you lose that first game, with all of these tournaments, it's all about getting off to the best start. You don't want to be trying to play catch-ups. So if you lose that first game, particularly with the way that, player morale, all that jazz, it's going to have an effect. And if you lose that first game, it can just set you on such a negative path. That first win is so important. And particularly with so few matches, you have to make it count. So see if Tim can back it up.
Yeah, definitely a basis of morale manager in this in this game as well. Sorry, Rich, to cut you off there. Sorry, what were you going to say?
No, you're fine, mate. The other thing you have to bear in mind with Tim's squad as well is that after game week 1, let alone a 1-game ban, there's a very, very high probability his entire midfield is going to be on a 5 to 10 stretch. So that's going to set him up very badly for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, if you're playing Tim Lewis in match day 2, then you're only playing a 5-a-side match. So it's going to be his match is actually taking part in the leisure centre. So that's quite nice, isn't it? And you've got to pay £3 each, otherwise it doesn't go ahead. Lama, I think this is an interesting match on match day 1 there. Breezy versus Fox in the box. So Breezy blew through everybody and path to the playoffs won, and then Fox is coming with a bit of time off from the scene. He's coming up against someone who's very, very much on form. Is it a baptism of fire, or is it Fox? Is this is? I get the impression this is kind of what Foxy would have wanted. He wants the challenge from day 1.
Absolutely, you would. And does Foxy strike you as the kind of person that's going to have taken some time off and then come into a draft unprepared? He absolutely does not to me. There's way too much thought gone into that draft squad, not for there to be an absolutely banging tactic. I remember back in the day, Fox was one of those pioneers of strikerless. He was probably clinging to it after everybody else had abandoned to it. He will come into this with a plan. It's going to be a great matchup for that first game week.
Yeah, absolutely, and of course, we'll go for a marathon in between game weeks as well, which will be fantastic again for morale and just for his own conditioning. So if we go into Group B, then, so we've obviously mentioned there Holly Players versus McKinn's, two showdown champs going head to head. Matt, can you call that one? Who, if you had to stick your neck out straight away, you've obviously gone for McKinn's to win the whole tournament. Is he going to get off to a winning start here, or?
It's tough. It's very, very tough. But this is what I think. If McKinn's, as we've been saying the whole time, sorts the tactics out and gets things working from the off, then I see no reason why he can't. But if it does take a few games to get himself sorted, and he maybe will have to just sort of get the qualification part done, get that sorted, and then kind of focus on the rest, then maybe it's a sort of game that he maybe could lose and then sort of use it as information to figure out what to do. Because at the end of the day, failure is a good way of gaining data for what not to do. And that could be the key maybe for him. Maybe even if it's just a draw where he can see something that he can build on in that game, rather than maybe a scraped victory where you don't really play that well. Sometimes that can be better. It gives you ideas of what to change, and you can actually build into the rest of the tournament from there.
Yeah, very, very good point. Very good point. And again, Holly's in the same position as well, where if she can hit the ground running straight away, morale is instantly in her favour, and she's determined to make another example of everybody on the playoffs. She has come to mean business. Rich, quick chat here about this next matchup. Sorry, I've just gone off the screen there. My mistake. I should have really kept on. Here we are. Sorry, this is the one. JD versus FM Girl. We'll let you pick the Welsh Derby winner. Who are you going for?
It's a really, really tough one to pick. It's a very, very tough one to pick. I mean, we've talked about JD's drafting pedigree before. The man knows his way around a PvP competition, but I can't look past Alice. I think, Alice has been, if you look at Alice's performances over the last, few playoffs, last few drafts that she's been doing, constantly improving. Unfortunate to be knocked out by Mozza in the semi-finals recently. Her squad is fantastic. Alice knows what she's doing. She's got the PvP knowledge. I can't look past Alice in that first week. I really can't.
Yeah, which is fair enough, to be honest. And if she can get the win, she's on for it. Mm-hmm. Lama, will come to you. Murph and Limo. Who's going to take it?
It's going to be very tight. They've both got strong squads. Going back to Limo's squad, if I've read this rightly, the only thing that might concern me is he the only competitor that's only drafted one goalkeeper? And if anything were to happen to Ramsdale in the group stages, is he in trouble? I'm not sure he's got another keeper in his squad to back up Ramsdale.
Well, this is the thing. We saw this in Path to the Playoff 1. Salty B drafted Jed Steer as a backup goalkeeper. We're all going, why have you drafted Jed Steer? And his goalkeeper got injured because it's a league format and those sorts of things happen. It's a database. It's not just an online tournament. So injuries can happen. And you're right, in the event of a goalkeeper getting injured, I'll have to confirm with Mozza, but I'm pretty sure we don't play grayed out goalkeepers. So he might need to ring Tim Lewis and ask if Fellaini fancies a transfer to go back in the sticks for Limo FC when he comes out of Her Majesty's pleasure. So maybe that's a thing that we could do. We'll talk about that. I'm going to mention there's some bits and pieces that are kicking off in the chat here. There's a poll going on. Who is your favourite to win from the panel's picks in the chat? And we are fairly balanced at this point. It's between Breezy and FM Girl. It's now very balanced between Limo, Stinger, and McKinns. Breezy's just moving up into the lead. We'll have keep our eyes on that as we go through, because it looks like we've got a tiny bit of time for this to finish. 100% agreed. No grayed out goalkeepers to start. So if you're playing Limo and Murph, then I think the first thing you do is set attack goalkeeper as your first tactic, and then Tim Lewis has actually asked for a transfer from each group, so he's now in Group B, which is really weird. Hatchet 11 over there is rocked up with beef and a score style apparently. So all of his matches are played in a dark alley, which is a wonderful new stadium. Under the cover of darkness. So, we're just waiting for some results here. I mean, we'll have a quick little look. I mean, I know it sort of seems a bit strange to sort of read through more fixtures. I'm going to go to the final set of fixtures. This is the final game because we could talk about permutations all the way, but of course we don't really know until it happens. So the last round of fixtures are Hood Gaming versus Stinger, Mozza versus Breezy, another home game for Mozza. Of course, another home game for Mozza. Mozza versus Breezy. And Tim Lewis finishes against Fox in the Box. Group B, FM Girl versus McKinns is the final match of the group gate stage. Ollie plays versus Limo and JD versus Murph. Now, again, we're seeing here, home ties could come into this as well. It could be an advantage that you might need, particularly if you are struggling a little bit for morale. You might need that home fixture coming in at just that moment in time and gives your players a little bit of a G up, and hopefully you get your points to secure your promotion through to the actual knockout competition. Matt, have you been in that situation before where you're sort of like fighting to get through on the last day of the season, or are you a bit like me and you're already booking your holidays after match day 2?
I'm usually the one that's got like one eye above the mud by that point, and it's pretty much taken me. And it's like, if I pull off this outrageous last day victory, maybe I'll be up to my torso in it instead. But majority of the time, you just have to sort of sink in and let the brown take over. It's just,
Yeah,
you get great skin though, so.
Yeah, exactly. You know, swings and roundabouts for everything, isn't it? You got to take the rough with the smooth. You know, like for me, I start a tournament already going to the organisers. I've booked my holidays, right? I'm not available for the knockouts. And then I just tell the players the same thing, and they go, "Got it, boss, sorted." Rich, if you're in the situation, if you're Tim Lewis, for example, Rich, you're up against Fox in the Box, and you're looking to pull off that dramatic last day of the season win. He's excitable enough to do that, isn't he? But he's coming up against one of the best.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I mean, for somebody like it's a great kind of balance of competitors, because, like, say, you've got Tim, who in terms of the PvP scene, he's really started to make a name for himself. You know, he's starting to win competitions, but this is only within the last kind of like 6 to 8 months. Whereas you've got Fox in the Box, who's PvP OG. So, you know, these guys haven't crossed paths before, and that's an exciting matchup for me. But if there's anybody who can pull off that upset, it's Tim. It's definitely Tim, because I don't think Tim is going to be in a position where he's going to be he's not going to be looking at the history. He's not going to be looking at the backstory. He's just going to be fully focused on the 90 minutes ahead of him. Not asked about who the opponent is. You know, fingers crossed Fellaini's out on good behaviour by that point. So, you know, he'll have a midfield. And I'm excited by it. I think if Tim is in a position where he needs a big 3 points to secure progression to the next stage of the tournament, all guns blazing, no messing. And I'm excited by the concept of that.
I'm very excited, and I'm also very excited for the potentially nervy end of the season between Hood Gaming and Stinger. I mean, that mean, that's a tweakers match anyway, isn't it, Llama? But if you come into that point where those two could potentially need a result against each other to go through, it's not inconceivable that everything comes down to the last match of the group stages. But if there's something on that match is going to be like, we might as well have a whole channel dedicated to that game, because that's a 90-minute match, isn't it?
Absolutely. And Hood was racking up the goals in the qualifiers as well. So he really will. If he needs a result in that last game, he's got the firepower to do it. But I've got a little bit of an insider information on Stinger's tactic that is going to be playing. And if it works, it really could be exciting, because I think he's going to try and attack the tournament in a way that nobody else is thinking about.
Okay. I like the sound of that. Stinger's always got something up his sleeve. He's a man who knows his way around attack this board. And again,
Yeah, it's never worked yet, but this could be
he
the
knows his
time.
way around it. He hasn't, it's just, it's round. Now he's stopping and reading each of the little bits, going, that bit, right, cool. So we're going to be interested to see what he brings. And I think also as well, my final match to look forward to on that last day of the groups, Holly versus Limo. That has the potential to just be so much fun. Like, whatever happens, that's the party show, right? Like, that is the party match. Like, Limo's going to be in a good mood regardless of where he's at. Holly's going to be in a good mood regardless of where she's at. She's probably already won the group by that point, so that could be just an absolute pandemonium match to finish that group off with, I think. Rich Owens is busy tweeting, "Let the Brown take over." Excellent, good work, Rich. Rich is on merch duties. If anyone's interested, we're going to start selling T-shirts with that one. And also, what else have we got here? If WCW has taught us anything, it's that Stinger can't be underestimated. That's Sting, apparently. So, also, he's in the Police, which would be handy against Tim Lewis's team.
He'll be watching.
So maybe it's a double bluff. Maybe he turns up. Message in the bottle is guilty, Your Honour, and it's directions to strange ways.
There's a Bruce Foxton pun here somewhere, but I'm not going to make it because I can't think of it.
Roxanne in there somewhere.
Just gotta let them. You got to let them come naturally. That's the key.
Yeah.
That's the key.
It's fine. It's not lasagna-based puns, but it's all right.
I think we peaked with pasta. We can
roll with it.
Yeah,
You know what?
might
This
be
is
playing fast and loose with the word peaked there.
I mean, look, it depends. Look.
It was a
0.1
moment.
is peaking. Like if we stay at 0 all the way through, 0.1 is peaking. Like,
This is true.
It might not
This is
be
true.
noticeable to the naked eye, or decent in other people's views, but it's still the high point, right?
The tallest mountain in the Netherlands is still a mountain.
Exactly. Yeah, he still holds that trophy. Like, it takes him. It's a small trophy, obviously. It's a stamp more than anything. But to him, that looks massive, right? But it's like an A4 painting. I love the way in my head I thought, what's the biggest thing? A4.
It's like you're in year 11 again.
Yeah.
He's just holding a jotter above his head.
Tony sees a board newspaper and he writes an angry letter. It's like, it's massive. It's ridiculous.
Absolutely, yeah. Kev's drawn all over it. Here's Val Veghorst and what he thinks. This has been fun. This has been a lot of fun. I hope everyone in the chat has enjoyed it. Thank you, of course, for being part of it and sticking with us through this. Of course, the main tournament is on Sunday, so strap yourselves in. We're going to be going live from 6 p.m. UK time, so do come and join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, the panel is going to be me hosting. We're going to have Second Yellow Card is going to be back with us, and we're also going to have Alistair and Stick Piano. So it's going to be fun. We have a couple of thank yous to do before we go further. Thank you, first of all, for Jeb Baruch, who's our director in the back, making sure everything runs nicely. And, of course, our production crew, Statman Andrew and Gouda, have been putting stat packs together for us. Shout, of course, for the graphics work as well, which has been wonderful, and also the organisation in terms of everything you could possibly imagine. We'll do some thank yous and some plugs for all of our panelists. Matt, take it away. Where can people find you? On Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, all those sorts of wonderful things.
The first place you'll find me, because I made this mistake yesterday, is you'll find me on the panel on Sunday.
There you go. Did you hear that, Rich? Knowing what they're doing that week. Imagine that. Imagine knowing when you're booked for things.
I can't. It's a really weird concept. Somebody's going to have to write it down and explain it to me. Sorry.
Explain this to me like I'm 5.
Yeah, explain it then like I'm 4. Please.
Yeah. Excellent. So you're going to be here Sunday. That's the important news. And where can people follow you on Twitch and Twitter and all of your other social medias?
Basically, just second yellow card, except Twitter, because that's second yellow card, because characters.
Yeah, there you go. Do that. Also, fan of lemon-based preserves. So that could also be why.
Love them.
You're not. Just say, I'm not. I hate the idea.
I bloody love them. Absolutely love them. Bathe in them.
I'm a fan of lemon curd as well. Actually, we should do
Never
more.
had a Jif sour. Missing out.
Seems the best. There's literally no flies anywhere near you all. It's just too citrusy, isn't it?
Exactly. I'm pretty much mummified. I've been embalmed.
Do you buy a massive bottle of Corona and just stick yourself in the top? Just...
Yeah. This is 1 part Corona, 1 part formaldehyde.
Llama, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter or YouTube. I'm FM Llama, although my new channel is called The Manager's Seat. If you look that up on Twitter, you'll find links to all of our various little socials.
Excellent. And it's fantastic content as well, by the way. I love the fact there's a new channel doing great stuff. Mr. Owens, where can we find you and your podcast that you might wish to plug that comes out every Tuesday?
So you can find me twitch.tv/Rich Owens FM, at Rich Owens FM on Twitter, youtube.com/Football Manager Therapy. That's that podcast, What I Do. It's really good, as are all the other things I've just talked about. Shout out Shea Guava Lager. Way! Other lagers are available, but are not as tropical. So the hell with them.
Yeah, excellent stuff. And I am, of course, Tony Jameson on Twitter, Tony Jameson FM on Twitch. I'm also part of Football Manager Therapy, as, of course, Rich has just said there. I have no feelings towards guava-based lager at all. So, just putting it out there. I've already mentioned me fascination with curd. So that's fine. We're going with that one. We are going to go and do a raid. We're going to go and do a raid to one of our competitors. We're going to go and say hello to McKinns and send him some love. Thank you all for watching. Please make sure you follow this channel, the FM Playoffs, and of course the FM Playoffs on Twitter as well. We will see you on Sunday for what promises to be a fantastic FM Playoffs. See you all soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye now.